All right, so now that we've talked about our content updates, I'd like to move on to the planned first graphical update.
前回のファンフェス途中経過お伝えしてますが、その途中経過に対して皆さんからのフィードバック、いただいてます。そこでさらに調整しましたよというのをちょっとお伝えしたいと思って持ってきてます。
Okay, so after showing everyone our progress with the graphical update back in Las Vegas, we got a lot of player feedback. Over the past few months, we've taken that feedback and we've made even further adjustments.
メインキャラクターの種族アウラだよっていう方。
So how many people here have an aura character?
持ってきたのはこのアウラの。
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the auras, horns and scales.
できるだけね皆さんのイメージ損なわないように注意しつつ行っているグラフィックスアップデートなんですが。
Again, we've been tweaking it a lot with our new graphical update.
中でも前回途中経過注目されたのアウラ族の角とかそれから鱗の表現っていうものに、いろんなフィードバックいただきました。
Our players sound unhinged.
The goal was to introduce these fine adjustments that won't feel too dramatic and ruin that unique look that we've all gotten used to. And as you recall, this includes tweaks to polishing things like the aura horns and scales.
まず次にお見せするのが前回北米でお見せした途中経過のスクリーンショットです。
Okay, so first off, we're going to start by showing you what we showed you back in Las Vegas.
これがね前回お伝えしたもの。
All right, and this is what we showed you last time.
角の表面とか鱗に結構光の反射があってちょっとエナメルっぽい質感だった自分たちのイメージとちょっと違ったっていうフィードバックも、結構議論として寄せられてました。
So back in Las Vegas, the horns and scales that we showed you were very reflective and had a very strong enamel type of feel, and it was not something that a lot of people had expected.
これはこれでやっぱりこう反射があるので、クオリティとしては比較的高く見えやすい気はするんですが。
And with this reflectivity, I mean, it looks very high quality, so it was good for showing off that improved in quality of the horns.
我々が 3.0 で、企画した時のアウラの元のイメージに近づけるようにさらに、継続して調整を続けてきました。
But it didn't really match our vision of what we wanted the aura to look like from our original design back at 3.0, so we continued tweaking.
すごい微妙なのでメインキャラクターアウラの人ちょっと一生懸命画面見てください。
All right, and so this is where we are. It's a very, very small change, so look very, very closely. Okay? And
これが前回。
This is before?
After.
After.
すいませんね。
Okay, this might have been like the strangest thing to like choose to highlight. I mean, I almost kind of think they look better before.
And
I almost kind of like the reflective ones better.
これが前回。
this is before?
So far? What are you guys, Pepe, laughing about? What? What does chat know that I don't?
すいませんね。
Sorry, it wasn't even more exciting.
光沢がね強く出ていた質感をちょっと落として本体の色へ近づけてより馴染ませるということをやってます。
So we're continuing our work on lowering that reflectivity to be able to get the horn color to something more natural and closer to what we originally intended.
前回お見せした他の種族というのもですね前回のものがフィックスではなく、皆さんのその感想フィードバック見てどんどんギリギリまで細かくクオリティアップや調整を続けています。
So this goes for all of the updates for the other races as well. We've been receiving a lot of feedback, and what we showed you in Las Vegas wasn't the final product, but a work in progress.
ちなみになんですけど、
Okay?
このスクリーンショットのこのアウラの女性のね首にちょっとライン入ってるんですけど。
And so some of you with some very good eyes maybe notice a little line on the neck of
ちょ
the
っと
female aura.
急いで首くっつけたんでちょっと。
And so basically when creating this, we had to rush and like we just took a head and popped it on a body.
治るんで。
We'll fix this. Don't worry.
次なんですが、さらに細かいお話をちょっとさせてください。
So we talked about something very detailed, and so for next we're going to talk about something even more detailed.
ファイナルファンタジー14、9番と呼ばれているオリジナルのファイナルファンタジー14が13年前にリリースされ、その時から、より快適に遊べるようにという形で Realm Reborn が作られています。
So as many of you know, the original Final Fantasy XIV was released almost 13 years ago. Then a couple years after that, A Realm Reborn was released to improve upon the original.
1.0 から遊んでるよ。
How many people here have been playing since 1.0?
Oh.
Legacy.
Thank you. で、その新生版を作るにあたってですね、やはりできるだけ短い期間で作り上げていくということで、Q14 のそのモデリングっていうのをうまくアレンジしてここまでやってきたという歴史が実はあります。
So I have to go back. I'm like distracted by chat.
To improve upon the original.
1.0 から遊んでるよ。
How many people here have been playing since 1.0?
Oh.
Legacy.
Thank you. で、その新生版を作るにあたってですね、やはりできるだけ短い期間で作り上げていくということで、Q14 のそのモデリングっていうのをうまくアレンジしてここまでやってきたという歴史が実はあります。
So when making the move from 1.0 to A Realm Reborn, we didn't have a lot of time. So we ended up having to repurpose some of the original character models for A Realm Reborn.
今回グラフィックスアップデートではそれらの調整を行う際にこの9番から使っていたモデルというのにも改めて全てに手を入れて完全に新しいものへと進化させることにしました。
And so now, to coincide with the graphical update, we had to revisit our use of these older 1.0 models.
これこそめちゃくちゃ細かいのでちょっとよく見てください。
Okay, this is going to get really, really detailed, so look carefully.
ララフェルですね。
Okay, so we have our Lalafell.
これ現在のララフェルです。
This is the Lalafell that's in game right now.
可愛いですね。
And of course, cute as ever.
ちょっとですね、ここに注目してください。
So I want you to focus on this part of the face.
そのあたりです。
So yeah, right there around the chin.
できる限りですね、キャラクターモデルを軽くかつ高品質に見せるためにローポリゴンを実はですね、ほっぺたの下にすごい四角いポリゴンを無理やり入れてですね、そこで顎の影のラインをつけるみたいなすごいなんて言ったらいいんだろう、テクニックみたいなことを実はやってます。
So, to ensure character models weren't a burden on the system, but also maintain a high visual quality, we implemented the use of these low polygon shapes. And the remnants of those can kind of be seen today in around the cheek and the jawline, those straight lines.
Yeah.
ただ今回
It's kind of jarring when you compare it to other, especially over here. It's just like a straight line. It's rather jarring when you compare it to newer models. Yeah, you can even see it in the ears and stuff too. I mean, it's like pretty roughly polygonal. You can see it along the chin. I noticed that as a player, and it does stand out to me. It's important to me.
より影がリアルに滑らかに表示されていくためにですね、ノーマルマップと呼んでいる顔の凹凸データみたいなもの
We don't have lines on our face like that, you know? We don't have that shit. It doesn't look good.
全て改めて
It's very jarring. Dude, I'm gonna fucking slap you, Alec. I'm gonna slap you so fucking hard that you turn into a peacock from a chicken. Like, I'm gonna literally smack you into a different kind of animal. It's unbelievable what you're doing right now.
綺麗に作り直しています。
You have to be. This guy must be stopped. Must be stopped, dude.
However, we went back and we retooled and recreated.
I'm gonna choke this chicken. That's why Alex blue, by the way.
What is called our normal map data, which in other words is basically this data that's meant to represent the bumps and dips and irregularities of those textures.
そのためですね、その新しいグラフィックスの状態に、この旧の状態のモデルをそのテクニックを残したままにして、その非常に小さいポリゴンが不自然な影を作ってしまう
Yoshi, I get it.
ことが
Show the
出
next
てき
one.
ました。
Show me the next slide.
However, by doing that, it caused some conflicts with the existing low polygon data that we'd been using since 1.0, creating even these more mysterious bumps and dips in shadows.
This is why they never explain the spaghetti code, because the explanation of the spaghetti code is boring. That's all. Yeah, that's all that's happening right now. Is they're literally explaining spaghetti code. That's it.
わかるかな？
Can you tell?
わかる？
So there, and that's what happened.
ここにね、
Yeah, I mean it has more depth to it and a little more roundness. Yeah.
微妙に外側に尖ったポリゴンが
Show it again.
影の邪魔をしてる。
Show them side by
See,
side.
kind of, there's these bumps on the chin that are kind of affecting the shadows.
いや、わ
It's
かん
like a
ねえ
better
って反
texture
応だな
map
これ
almost,
And
except
everybody's like,
it's
I don't know. See, what?
polygons itself.
ただこれララフェル使ってる方どれぐらいいます？
Toggle it
How
again.
many people are using Lalafels?
皆さん自分のララフェルが一番
It's yeah, it's just really technical and jargony. I get it. It's not going to capture most people's interest, but I'm interested. I think it's interesting. I think that these small things add up, and I think that when you do changes to help like fix facial structures and stuff, like on one little model that they're showing in this one particular time, it doesn't seem like much, but when you consider that it maybe is being done to multiple races, multiple different faces, all the different stuff like that, it's a lot of work. I don't know. It's a lot of work.
ってますよね。
And so, of course,
It's
you
important.
think
I think it
your
adds up.
Lalafell is the cutest, right?
まあなのでだからこそこういう細かい
You can still see a little bit of it, but
違い
it's better.
っていうのをまあなくさないようにできればしていきたい。ただこれからのクオリティアップデートを考えていくとどうしてもその味として残していた
Yeah, it's better if you look at the big picture. Yeah, yeah.
取っていかないと
They could use some more example images. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I agree.
今回のお知らせ
It's not very fun. It almost seems like more like a tech demo than which in a sense it is, but like it's more of a tech demo than a feature, you know.
And so I know that some people may look at these kind of imperfections born from these old techniques as something that makes Lalafels Lalafels. And you know, we didn't want to.
And we would say you're a fucking idiot. We're gonna change our game because we own it, and you can go fuck yourself. Your Lalafell looks slightly better now. Thank you, and please look forward to it.
them all because we know that that's what makes the Lalafell special. But moving with this graphical update and having something that matches that, we decided it was time to at least touch them up.
これが最新です。
And so this is the new version.
影がめっちゃ自然になったの分かります？
So you can tell that like the shadow is now much more natural.
すごい細かいんですけど。
It's very, very, you have to look very, very closely.
Yeah, it's true though. It does look better. And I mean, this is think about this. I mean, these are characters that people spend a lot of time looking at, you know, like whether they're G-posing or getting, you know, picking out cool armor or whatever it might be. Like, I think it's really important to highlight changes to the player character because this is us. I mean, this is us. This is like how our character like looks, how it represents like whatever it is that we're like picking. It's good for cutscenes. It's good for shadow for cutscenes is good. That way we don't end up with butter-faced, weird-looking aura that have no depth to them at all. You know, so it's important. I think this is cool.
いやまあまあ基調講演で話す内容なのかって思わなくもないんですけど。
And I would assume that these polygonal changes and things will affect all lighting conditions. I think that's what's most important here is that this isn't just something that's going to look different in one light. I think when they make these kinds of changes, it affects the way that it looks in all lighting. So I think it's important. I still remember the drama back in WoD when they changed the character model designs in WoW. Yeah, and people threw a fit, but they looked way better. They looked way better. I'm gonna be honest, man. They looked so much better. When RuneScape did the same thing, they looked a lot better, depending on who you ask. But yeah.
いやまあまあ基調講演で話す内容なのかって。
The only thing I didn't like that RuneScape did was when they changed the look of like all the dragon weapons and like all their handles and things looked like white dragon bone instead. Like that was weird. And when they changed the look of all the Barrows armor, I didn't like that either. Because you have like the classic look of like what those sets are supposed to look like, and then when they updated all of them, instead of just making them higher resolution, they like completely fucking redid the sets. I didn't like it.
思わなくもないんですけど。
I mean, you're probably all wondering, it's like, could we have not done this like at a different panel? Did it have to be at the keynote?
Oh.
全てのプレイヤーの皆さんのキャラクターを
He
な
knows.
んとしても今皆さんが思っているキャラクターイメージのままよりクオリティアップ
Like,
を
why are you
させ
putting
てい
this
くた
here?
めに
He's like, I know.
担当のアーティストたちも僕もこう目を皿にして今と前をこう比較してほんのちょっとでもポリゴン
Reading the
の顔があ
crowd.
ったら
Yeah.
何なんだこのポリゴンはって言って、まあ、そういうことを日夜やっているのでぜひグラフィックスアップデート楽しみにしててくださいというお話です。
But again, we wanted to show you this especially because we wanted to show you just how hard we're
He's
working
probably
on this front.
404
We
on this.
understand that you all love your characters, and we don't want to change your characters, but we do want to make them look a lot better, and so we're working on these tiniest of issues to improve it. I'm there looking at everything. If I see even a hint of a polygon, I'm like, no polygon! And so,
We appreciate
again,
that,
this
Yoshi.
is
At least I do.
the extent of the work
I
that we're
really- I
doing. We
appreciate
wanted to
that.
show that with you here today.
まあでもこれだけだと
And
ね
you know what? Seeing a little bit of it here does make me more interested in watching the graphics panel. Them highlighting it, showing that they care a lot about it, that says to me, we do want to put a lot of effort into this. And it makes me feel like, you know what? I want to watch the graphics panel because if there's more stuff, like I want to hear about it. I don't know. It means a lot to me, personally.
いくら
I'm
な
a
んでも
graphics whore. I am, straight up. I'm a fucking graphics whore. There's no two ways about it, okay? I just am. And I want the game to look better. And so I'm stoked that they're doing little things like this because attention to detail is what makes things really, really shine.